in 2025 and think of your guess for 2026.
Bet is what do you do to push it further?
My connection with myself, my self acceptance, who I am. Good morning, everyone. And Anna said happy Friday, and we're going to probably build some tools for happiness in the next probably few series. But one thing, anyone, what is happiness? Because, why we create the bigger future is to be happier. While the next session will be on happiness, anyone wants to share the definition for happiness? Okay.
I can go, Sunny.
Okay,
That's,
go ahead. But
it's too deep. It's
Yeah.
too
one
deep.
person to define happiness.
So, Sunny, for me, happiness is not constant smiling, not constant engagement. It is a quiet sense of well being. Even when you have a challenging times, you know that things will be okay and you will sail through that. So, that's happiness for me.
Is it more internal or external?
Both, Sunny.
Can you tell if someone is happy or not?
Yes, I think, Sunny, with now, when you wear different hats, when you experience um, a lot of interaction, looking at body language and looking at how person is giving you the interactions, I think one can gauge, is this person happy or not? So a lot of things can be interpreted when it comes to how the person is giving you reactions and his body language mainly.
Yeah, that's true. And you can also tell who is making making it up or who's really authentically happy.
Absolutely. Isn't it from heart or is it just,
Yeah,
wearing a mask?
yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. Okay, so I mean, this is how I think because this is the series that we had. It's about the life, the bigger future, and so what we have done so far. What we have done so far. So let's talk about that. Then I will share my perspective on how I look at happiness. But let me just go through a couple of slides. Do you see my screen?
Yes, Sunny.
Okay. So first of all, can everyone put one word? Uh, what's the greatest win in the last week? I know we asked that question, and Parmeet, thanks for sharing. But I want everyone to reflect last 7 days, the greatest win. Can you please put it in the chat and write it down on your notepad? It could be one word, it could be two words. Don't overthink. Clarity comes from reflection. And Nelly, cheers. Seems like you really enjoyed that sip of coffee, the last one.
It did. It was a little dip into happiness right there.
Yeah, cheers. Being proactive. Okay. Okay, Gagan, congratulations on making progress with losing weight. House turnover. Is that Paula? Progress. Wow. Can we write down these two words? Someone said progress. Yeah, progress. Then it was the other word. Progress. Yeah, progress. A lot of wins. Okay. Appreciate you sharing that. I think my time zone is kicking in today a little bit, so please bear with me. The change of time zone. Okay, so session one, what we did was we looked at our phone pictures, we looked at our calendar to look for the places, people, and activities of 2025 month by month. And that gave us a lot more clarity on what was energy building and what was energy draining. Because either, I mean, three things going to either give you energy or drain your energy. That's person or place or activity. So what we wanted to do was really reflect month by month on 2025 to gain clarity so that we know we have a list of energy building and energy draining so that we can do more of energy building stuff in 2026. Session two was how can we make bigger choices, that borderless vision for 2026, that how can we have a bigger vision for 2026. But we started with a bigger picture, our future self in 20 years, and then we did a reverse engineering in terms of 10 years, then it was 5 years, and then 1 year, and then we had quarterly breakdown of those goals. And what we believe here at IT by Design, that life lived intentionally, life lived by design is always better than by default. And as long as the design is your design, not someone else's design. So we looked at our 20-year picture, we reverse engineered to next 90 days. And what we believe here is progress beats perfection. So what goals we can set? There is a numeric number to every single goal in the next 90 days. And we start making progress by doing more activities that will be energy building, spending more time with people that are energy giving, energy builders. And we are able to do so activities and the places. So keeping our space, our place healthy. So everything was around health, relationships, career, and impact, because those three things, when you, for example, look at people, it's going to be related to your health, your relationships, your career, and your impact. If you look at activities, it's going to roll up to those four. So we're still thinking in the framework of those four life plans. And then the session four was the engine, that because habits are the foundation to create bigger future. If your daily habits are healthy, you will feel happier, you will make progress, and you will be able to create that bigger future, because every goal that you set, it requires discipline. When I say discipline, it's execution discipline. And it's like progress every single day. And session five, we did on upping our game. And we had that assessment where we assessed where we are with these 6 habits and where we want to be, our future self. And today's session will be what guesses and bets we want to make when it comes to that one habit that we picked last session. Is that out of 6 habits, if we can develop one habit for the next, let's say, 30 days, now what are the guesses and bets we will have to make sure that we end up executing on our next 90-day goals? Because one thing that I have learned from Dan Sullivan is your guesses and your bets are very important in terms of expanding your future, because everybody's future is always created by guessing and betting. No one knows their future. If someone talks about future, they are predicting. They are basically making things up. But the future will be created by you being able to guess and bet on the right thing and then putting that discipline to make that bet successful for you. And that's where the high payoff growth will happen. Okay, so let's get into our guesses. Now, when you look at your life, so let's look at 2025. What are the guesses from 2025? And then we will get into what are the bets that you made in 2025. That will give us some understanding in terms of our health, our relationships, our career, our impact guesses, and will give us a little bit more clarity and confidence. Remember, sixth habit was the confidence. So after the confidence, you need confidence to have guess and bet. And once we have clarity by reflecting, we will be able to make better guesses and better bets for 2026. So, what is one guess that worked for you in 2025? And then, based on that, make a guess for 2026. So, let's take about 30 to 60 seconds. So, I will give you an example. I guessed in December 2024 that I'm going to go to Everest. And I made a bet that I can do it. And in April 2025, I was able to do that. And it was very rewarding for me, for my own peace. It gave me a lot more confidence that if I can do that, I can do more. Now I will be able to make a better guess, better bet. I'm just giving that example from my health side. It made me healthier. It made me more fit. It gave me the confidence. Now, this year, I have the confidence now to bet on Kilimanjaro. So think of your guests in 2025 and think of your guests for 2026. And it could be a career. So we are doing this as a life by design. So I use that example. When I look at career, so I have been learning AI from last now 3 years. But the guess I had talking about career is that looking at understanding the market and everything, I'm like, I have to guess. So I made a guess that AI is going to be big, and I need to be the first one in the MSP space. And we started earlier, and that led to now we're seeing the payoff. That's the career example, where I had to give up on some activities, and grateful for Cam helping a lot on the IT by design side so that my guess and bet for AI by design, I have time to make that work. What's your guess? Write it down from 2025 and write it down for 2026. What guess you're going to make? Now you have clarity for your 2026 plan. Think of it could be one habit that, hey, this habit was my guess and it really worked out for me out of 6 habits. And I'm going to double down this year, or I'm going to pick a new habit. Anamika, 60 seconds, please.
Sure.
And Anamika, if you can help me put that question in the chat. The question is, what is one guess you're making right now about your future? That's too loud. It's okay. We can.
Okay, 60 seconds are up.
Okay, awesome. Share screen. Any question or guesses before we move on to bets? Any clarity? Like, what are we talking about here? Is everyone tracking me? So, Barmeet, give me an example of guesses just to make sure we use another language, words for us to take people with us. You're on mute. So basically, what are you understanding when I'm saying make some guesses for 2026?
Yeah. So, Sunny, I made few guesses for myself.
No, I mean,
And
you don't have to talk about your guesses. I'm saying just the definition of what we're talking about.
so, definition, if I have to tell you, Sunny, um, so I'm just thinking to tell in a better way.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
If I add in, I think if I get your question, like what I am understanding when you say what was your guess, I think what intention you set. I'm just building on your example which you shared that hey, I wanted to go to Mount Everest, and then that was my bet, and I had completed. So what I'm saying there, what intention did you set start of the year when you were setting a bigger goal for you? I could be
And
wrong.
yeah.
No, that's it. That's it. It's about being like by design, right? That you're making some. So the bigger future that you have clarity, the vision, the goals, and everything. Now, in order to achieve those goals, it really depends on activities. Are you choosing low payoff activities or high payoff activities? Are you choosing energy building activities or not energy building activities? So you're basically guessing what, like habits as an example. If we just want to use habits as an example, that what habit will give me the biggest leverage? Is it going to be the confidence or seeking clarity, or one of the habit that the productivity, where we were like 80-20 rule, that if you reduce your activities, because 20% of your activities is going to give you a lot bigger result than 80% of the activities. So then our calendars are less busy, but our impact is bigger. Right? Our day is much, even weekends is less busy, but we are more happy, and we are producing a bigger result for our life plans. So that's what it means. What are the guesses? So just to basically probably narrow it down, because it could be very broad and very overwhelming, is think one goal that you have set for yourself. In order to achieve that goal, what are the guesses that come to your mind for 2026? Your
One
2026 most important goal, and what guesses you are making today to achieve that goal.
one thing came in my mind, Sunny, just to add what you said. When we are not sure on something, when we have a limited information, that's our guess. Let's say an example. I'm guessing today it will rain. So that's how I'm making a guess. It's on the limited information, maybe seeing the weather, maybe seeing rain is happening somewhere else. So when you're not sure on something with the limited information, is that bet you make a guess, and to your guess, you make a bet.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, thank you, Banmi. And I will just add one more piece there, controllable and not controllable.
Natural.
Example that you have taken.
Yes.
Because with your guess of raining, not raining, that's rain or not rain, so far it's not in our control.
Yes.
What's in your control is from that guess, you're going to say, okay, what does it mean for me? I should take my umbrella.
Umbrella. Right.
That's it.
That's it.
So that's in your controllable.
Yes.
So your guess has a meaning now
Yes.
for basically what are you up to? Why are you making that guess?
Absolutely.
Yes. Thank you, Parmeet. Okay. And if someone can put those 6 habits, Anamika, in the chat, just so that people have, because this is a continuation of last session, that what are the habits? Because that's where we ended last time, that what are the habits that are going to create bigger future? And what guesses are you making? What habits are you adopting? So I just want to make sure people have that reminder. Okay, next, we're going to do some bets. We're going to make some bets. All right. One sec. So just to recap our guesses, every future starts with a guess. Nobody knows the future, not the most successful CEO, not the most experienced leader, no one. No one knows the future. And a guess is not ignorance, it's imagination meeting courage. So you're exercising your courage, which is the 6th habit, to guess. And limitless, that you are unique, you have limitless potential, you can achieve anything. All you need is courage, and courage to start with a guess. That's the first step for bigger future. So not the bigger future, your bigger future, not waiting to be discovered, waiting to be guessed. And that's where I think everything starts. That's the step 1. Now, step 2, so you probably have 3 guesses. Now you have to bet on 1 out of those 3 guesses. So example, if my guess is, okay, I want to take on a bigger mountain, or now within AI, we probably have 5 different opportunities right now, but I need to bet on 1. So now I need to think. I have limited resources. I can guess on, I mean, my guess is that, for example, agent as a service probably is going to have bigger impact in terms of our growth, our scale, our future, our bigger future. Or is it building community that we're building, the AI community of MSP leaders? Is it going to be consulting services where we're building custom agents? Is it going to be managed AI services? So probably a lot of guesses. Within that, what are the tools I should pick? So the tools choice could be Roost and NA10, or probably other tools. Now I have to bet on 1. And my bet should have some research, some understanding that what gives me confidence to bet on this tool. They probably have better funding. I can see that they're not going to disappear, so that my guess works based on the information, the research, the wisdom that I use. And again, no one knows the future. No one knows which tool is going to stay in business, which is going to disappear with the disruption that's happening. But I can bet based on some understanding. The example that we used is what's in my controllable. Rain is not in my controllable, but umbrella is in my controllable. So I don't control everything in the world in terms of market conditions, what Trump's going to say tomorrow, what policy he's going to come up with, or what someone else is going to do. But what's in my control is really understanding this AI industry right now and betting on the tools, and knowing that my bet is going to work because I have done my homework. So committing something real with time, energy, money, reputation toward a guess you believe in. That is the bet. A guess without a bet is a daydream. So second step for you to achieve your goals for your bigger future is making a bet. So can you think of now, if you probably had guessed few, let's say 3 things, 4 things to the goal that you committed to, when we were talking about your commitment to the goal, we were talking about uh, what was that, what was the habit where we were talking about um, necessity, raising necessity, thinking beyond yourself?
Raise
And
necessity. Yeah.
yes, so now think that, okay, what bet you're going to have, where you're going to raise that necessity to a totally different level. And because the goal is so important to you, and now you have to be very, very intentional and careful to make that bet in terms of what will move the needle, what will make that big impact, where you're not going to give up on that goal. So small bets, small future, but bold bets will give you bigger future. Make a bigger choice, something that's scary, something that is without your thinking borders right now. So expand your thinking borders to create 10x result. Certainty never comes before commitment, it comes after. There was so much uncertainty. What are we going to do in AI? What are we going to, but we had to, no one knew the future. No one had the playbook. Someone had to have confidence to make uncertain certain. So think of your bets. Where do you feel uncertainty right now to achieve the goal? And how can you have more courage to make a bigger bet, bold bet? 30 seconds. An example could be Gagan, when you said, okay, I'm making progress with my weight loss. Probably you have another 5 pounds, I don't know, goal, whatever your health goal is. And you probably are being more courageous and more borderless by saying, okay, if the bigger picture goal is to, let's say, do 20 or 10, making a bigger choice, whatever that means for you. It's thinking time, guys. A lot of staying present is what will really help you. Because why I'm not doing too much content and teaching is you can probably listen to lectures on YouTubes and TEDx and everywhere else. But real progress comes from your thinking, you thinking about your thinking. That's why this time is staying in present is the most important thing for you. And turn your camera on unless you don't want us to see you, the condition that you're in. Maybe you're just, I hope no one is taking their phone in the shower. And joining Life by Design from there. And
So,
use, yeah, are we done with 60 seconds?
yes.
Okay, awesome. So let's go to the next step. Any questions on bets? How can you be a better better? How can you make a better bet? How would you say that, Cam? How can you be a better better?
I think you have to have you have to make sure that you take the time to think about what are all of the great things that can happen from this, and what are the potential. You have to do your little risk assessment, is it safe? Like when using the example of Sunny climbing Everest, I did my research. Where is he going? How far is he going? We packed him up with Arc'teryx clothing, making sure he's not cold. Like there's always got to be that one person who's doing who's on the other side that's saying, wait a second, let me just make sure this is this is safe. But you have to balance the good with the bad, and make that concerted decision on are the positives, um, is that list of gains bigger than the potential negatives?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So, yes, community is another, like having community around you to achieve those
Yeah.
goals is important. I went with my friends. While this is self-work, this is more inwards. This is more like you working on yourself, but at the same time, uh, having that community is really important around
Yeah.
you. Yeah. All right. If there are no questions, and Anamika, please keep an
There are
eye on.
questions. Sonia has a question, and so
Sanya
does
and
Anurag.
Anurag.
Oh, okay. Please go ahead, Sonia.
Not a question, I would say, but yesterday we attended a session with Cam where she taught us how to, have a better self-confidence. So maybe by preaching that, we can bet better, I would say, by believing in ourselves and, trusting our potential.
Yeah, 100%. Everything starts with you loving yourself and be okay with who you are and the courage. Uh, without courage, uh, without courage, is difficult to make a bigger bet. Yes. No, thank you. Thank you, Sonia.
Anurag, yes, please.
Yeah. Hi, Sunny. Hi, Cam. So, like first of all, I really loved, your quote. "A guess without a bet is just a daydream." I honestly, truly believe that. Having said that, I think, to like what you asked, Sunny, about, making bigger bets, leads to a better and bigger future. Definitely. So I think, the GPS, where you are thinking, what kind of bets you have to make, according to me, one has to also, think on the aspect of not getting, bogged down, or you're not exhausting yourself in the process. So making realistic bets for yourself is more sustainable rather than just, like having just the ambitious like bets for yourself. Choosing something that is realistically possible for you to achieve will help you sustain, longer and help you achieve those bets. That's what I
Yeah.
feel.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Anurag.
Uh,
Can we give some love to Anurag? Anurag, thanks for sharing your thinking. And Nick. Nick, how are you thinking about guesses and bets? You're young, probably you have to make a lot of and bets.
Well, for me, one of the bets that I set, I guess, for me as a marketer, is that a lot of the strategies, I guess, that people are going to be employing in the future are that they're going to be using a lot of AI for, some of the video content. And for me, I put or one of the or that was one of my guesses, sorry. And then one of my bets is that I guess I'd be learning more about or trying to become more fluent in AI languages, to, get ahead of the curve there, and maybe be utilizing some of these strategies for myself.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I think you landed at the right place where community AI community is there to support you. What Cam was saying earlier that, when you have guests and bet, you got to have the right environment for your guests and bet to work, right? Yeah, awesome. All right. So now let's talk about the next part that comes after the bet. So now when you think about your past guesses and bets, think of one bet that really served you well. I mean, it was 10x or 100x result. Payoff was a big payoff because every bet produces a payoff, every single one. Think of think of your bets from 2025 so that your brain juices are flowing to think of your bet and its connection with the payoff for 2026. The result that you wanted from your bet last year, and now 2025 is closed, so you have confirmation of that guess and bet, what momentum it created, what confidence it's given you, what growth that bet gave you, the lesson that you needed from that bet and the results. And now you have clarity on what works and what doesn't work. That will sharpen your guessing and bets skills. Every bet have value because the question is not that did it work? The question is what did I gain from the bet? And sometimes it's your biggest learning is going to come from the bet university. Books will not give you that. And please feel free to share in the chat. I will try to pick people from the chat just to have conversation. You don't need to share your personal stuff. I'm just looking for your thinking. How are you thinking about guesses, bets, and payoffs? Your perspective. You have a goal. In order to achieve the goal, you will go through adversity. You will go through there's an obstacle to get that, to achieve that goal. So you're betting on what needs to be true for me to address this. I mean, to overcome this obstacle, to achieve the payoff, to the result. And you're betting on something that's bold bet, bold strategy. And Dipti, prepare your thinking. I'm going to come to you, Dipti Carol, to ask you for your perspective on what I shared so far. Okay, so 30 seconds, guys. Thank you, Gagan, for sharing your bet to jog at Sukna Lake, my favorite, for walking and meeting my friends there. Yeah, that's awesome. 5 kilometers every day on weekends. Happy weekends. Happy Friday. Small bets. Parth, betting that AI in creative space will be better adapted as a assistive tool rather than a full generative approach. Achievement was creating trial interest from big creative platforms. Yeah. Bet to hike every month. Manu, yeah. There are great hikes with beautiful water views in the Philippines. Okay, so Dipti, how are you thinking about guesses, bets, payoffs? How are you thinking about your thinking with this concept?
Um, I do feel that the guess is more like your wish, your intention. How do you want to see yourself or something getting achieved? Bet is what do you do to push it further and go towards your objective. So that's how I look at the relationship between the guess and the bet.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Thank you, Dipti, for sharing that. Mohit Anand, how are you thinking about guesses, bets, and payoff?
Hi, good morning, Sunny. So for guesses, it's very important that we have a clarity and plan and consistency towards achieving that. Like, how you want to guess is something that you want to have seek clarity and plan to execute that on that certain role. And bets is all about keeping yourself disciplined, how you want to discipline yourself towards your guess and how you want to achieve. And payoff is something that when you like when you see when all that guess and bets have come true, you feel happiness towards, then you feel that it's been paid off. So it's the self realization within yourself, that how you self realize what you expected, what you have achieved, and what you expect, what the clarity, what you expected, and what you have achieved. That's just like, that's what I feel.
Yeah.
That's a match between the both.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thanks for sharing that, Mohit. And now you have a lot of bets to make this year with the space coming up in Noida, probably what building you're going to bet on.
Yes.
Then it's more what cab company you're going to bet on,
Yes.
when other vendors you're going to bet on for the next big party, in if there is a party in this year. The, we all have to make bets on engagements around us.
Yes.
And it's going to be always people. What was the second one? Places and activities. Have you made a guess on people in the past? Anyone never
I'm
made a
sure
guess?
with the people who got married, they made some guesses and bets.
Yes, they did bet. Yeah. And again, you can only, I mean, you will only, if you use this thinking, there will be no losing. You're always learning and winning. Because there is no life, no one I have met so far where all their guesses and bets were true, or they were able to make 100% of the right bets. And people where they stay happy, they just have one thing in common. They more focus on the learning from the bet rather than regretting from the bets that didn't work. Okay. Next one is, so we were talking about we were going through guesses, bets, payoffs, and next guesses along the way. Your insight round one means think about guesses and bets so far, how you were thinking about this. And what is one insight landing for you right now? Something that shifted, something that clicked, something you cannot unsee right now after the session. And let's take about 20 to 30 seconds on your biggest insight so far. 30 seconds. Anamika, please time it.
Yes, Sunny.
Write down one insight that you're taking back from the session. Think of your goals, think of your challenges in relationship to your life by design plans, your health, your relationships, your career, your impact. And if it's career, think of what goals you have, what bets you will make, and your bets again is going to be what activities I'm going to do, what people I'm going to do teamwork with, and what environment do I need around me.
30 seconds are up.
Okay, insight number two, again, your life plan, your relationship plan, for example, your relationships at work and your relationships at home, both will give you bigger and happy future, or it will give you miserable future. Normally it's misalignment. There is nothing right or wrong. It's just either there is alignment or there is no alignment. And rather than talking about looking at this as a people problem, look at the problem. That what is the root cause of that friction, the problem? Normally it's get it, want it, and the capacity misalignment. That someone has taken the role, for example, but they don't have either get it or want it or the capacity to do it. And they are not able to produce best result, even though they are intentional about that. And you have to guess and bet to solve for that friction.
So, Sunny, for Insight round 2, what is a question that we should be asking?
What is the second biggest insight?
Okay.
The first one was taken, and the second one. So maybe if there is one insight, one way to think about could be what's my biggest insight that I can apply to my health, which is the life plan one, wheel one. The second one is relationships. That was giving his example. What friends, like how can what's my second biggest insight that I can apply to my relationship? It could be your friends, family, coworkers. Okay, let's move on to the insight number 3. Think about a past bet that felt like a failure at the time, but you gained wisdom, some learning, something that can help you make a better bet this year. Guess borderless means limitless, that expand your borders when you're guessing, and choose your bet for this week to claim your payoff. Life by Design is built on the courage to guess, the commitment to bet, and the wisdom to learn from every payoff. Your bigger future starts with your next bet. Okay. uh, one person sharing insight, one insight from the session. Cam, what's your biggest insight?
That I made a great bet on you, Sunster.
Same. For me, I think my that 1 and 1 11x was not possible without you.
Yeah.
Okay. Who else? So Natalie, what's your biggest insight so far?
Yeah, so it got me like thinking a little bit. So like at first I was like thinking more on like the personal side, but then I started to kind of apply it to how I prioritize like my accounts in general, right? I take kind of a guess based off of the relationship, based off of the questions that I ask them, and then kind of make a bet off of that, like, who you give the most attention to. And normally it pays off in revenue.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a kind of a different insight that I took at it. Like I didn't realize that I was actually like kind of doing, but like putting it out visually was pretty cool. So then now that I've applied that, like I can use it in different areas too.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you for sharing. Javed, biggest insight.
Uh, sorry. Guesses without the bet is a daydream. You gotta make the bet. Gotta be brave.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. Guesses are here, bet is in action. The only way to see result is take action.
And I think one thing that you always have to take a bet on something. And something big requires a bet.
Yeah.
So you just
And
got to get good at guessing at which bets are good.
yeah. And what do you need, Cam, to do that? Like, what is the capability that you need to do that?
Courage.
100%. Yeah.
A lot of
You,
courage.
yeah.
Self-assessment, true to yourself, knowing knowing your own truth and
Yeah.
being able to have honest conversations with yourselves. Like I could have said, "Hey, I'm going to go up Everest," but I knew the facilities were going to be a problem, and I probably have made you miserable the entire time you were going up Everest. So I said, "No, let's send Sahib instead," right? Because I would have been miserable, you would have been miserable, we all just would have been miserable, and it wouldn't have been a great experience for you. So I made a informed decision on that bet that that's one for you and not for me.
Yeah. That's another insight, guys. Your bet is your bet, and you don't have to measure yourself, your progress, your success with other people. It's just measure your success backwards. So, and don't really compare yourself with other people.
Yeah, and sometimes your bet, it's okay to have a different bet. Like Sunny
Yeah.
wanted to go up Everest. I prefer a spa.
Yeah.
It's okay. Right? You can have different bets. I'll go on my girls' trip and I want to I'll trek up, on the Great Wall of China,
One
right?
more
And Sunster's got Sunster doesn't care about the facilities. I care about the facilities.
100%. So do your own guessing and bets for
Yeah.
your own life by design, because it's your design, it's your life, and no one else should be designing it. You should be designing it, and what's right for you, what's good for you is be you. Be you. So, okay, so segue to our next session is one one thing that we will talk about next week is happiness. Okay, the way happiness works is no matter, because it's important, all the goals, the bigger future that you have set for yourself, if you achieve that and not happy, there are so many people around me that I see them that way, doesn't matter what you created, because you always have that ideal that, okay, I'm here, if I get there, I'm going to be happy. But when you get there, you're still not happy. You want the next ideal. So you're never happy in your life. And there are three things to me that makes me happy at least. First one is daily progress, that the goal that I set, if I'm making daily progress and reflecting on what goal I have, and what did I do today towards the end of the day, if I feel that what I did made progress towards that goal, that gives me gratitude, like the self satisfaction. The second one is self acceptance. I'm not going to be properly in the range of some people, and I need to be in range, like in connection with myself, my self acceptance, who I am. I need to be myself. If I don't love the way who I am, then I'm never going to be happy. And the third thing, should I keep it for the next session? No, I will share it. The third thing is being useful to the world. That every day, if you feel that at least full gives me happiness, being valuable, helpful, useful to other people gives me happiness. So three pillars for me are daily progress, self-acceptance, that not everyone is going to like me, not everyone is going to be able to work with me, not everyone is going to be able to live with me, but I need to be true to myself, being authentic, because I'm a unique individual and I need to be myself. That's a full-time job right now for me, being myself. But I need to be myself to be happy. Third is being useful. So with that, we will go into detail with those three pieces, because if happiness is not there from your bigger future, it doesn't matter, because here will go to there, and there will, then again, there will be another there. So how to be happy in where you are today while you're ambitious about your bigger future, to be more happier, but this is the fundamental that we will talk about next week. So you're always happy Monday to Sunday. Take care, team. Have a great day.